Dividend on a stock is paid generally, but not always, 4 times a year. Not necessarily the same time every year, and not necessarily on a like a calendar quarterly basis. But they generally pay 4 times a year. The yield, what you want to look for, obviously, is the annual yield. The next time a dividend is paid, the next X date is the next time they're going to pay. So Potash, I was just talking about Potash. Potash is paying their dividend on July 8th, or I'm sorry, on August 2nd. But if you get in after July 8th, you're not going to participate in that dividend. Okay, so they tell you that's published information. So in order to participate in the dividend, you got to be in X, the dividend date. So in the case of Potash, if you buy it today, you would get a prorated portion of your dividend on August 2nd. After July 8th, you won't. So the dividend always varies because remember, a dividend or an annual yield is based on the share price. It's a percentage that is based on the share price. So it says it's going to pay, I don't know, whatever it's going to pay. So Potash is paying 25 cents per share. So 25% is a percentage, obviously, of whatever the share price is. So again, I use Potash because I was just talking about that. So Potash is trading, I'm kind of making this number up here because I don't know what it is right now, but Potash is trading at $16 a share. So 25 cents of $16 is around 6.1 or 2%. So the annual yield as of today is 6%. Now that's assuming when you look at an annual yield and say, well, the annual yield is 6.2%, that's assuming that the share price stays the same throughout the year. Well, you know that's not going to happen. So if the share price goes down, the annual yield goes up because it's the 25 cents now is calculated on a smaller number, so the percentage is higher. Okay, so so you always have to look at, say, because I say this all the time when people call, I say, well, look, you're getting paid to wait. It's paying a 6% dividend. Well, yeah, but if the stock goes up, dramatically, that 6% is not going to really be 6%. If the stock price doubles, it's only going to be 3%, because it's the same amount of money per share, but it's on a bigger number. So, you want to, at some point in time in your trading career, want to think about growth always. You want the stock to grow, but it's great to be able, when a stock is coming down, to be able to continue to receive a dividend, an annual yield, so that while you're waiting for it to come up, you're making a little bit of money on the annual yield.